who. Who is but the form following the function of what, and what I am is a man in a mask.
Well, I can see that.
Of course you can. I'm not questioning your powers of observation. I'm merely remarking upon the paradox of asking a masked man who he is.
Oh, right.
But on this most auspicious of nights, permit me then, in lieu of the more commonplace sobriquet, to suggest the character of this dramatis persona. Voila! In view, a humble vaudevillian veteran, cast vicariously as both victim and villain by the vicissitudes of fate. This visage, no mere veneer of vanity, is a vestige of the vox populi, now vacant, vanished. However, this valorous visitation of a bygone vexation stands vivified, and has vowed to vanquish these venal and virulent vermin, vanguarding vice and vouchsafing the violently vicious and voracious violation of volition. The only verdict is vengeance, a vendetta, held as a votive not in vain, for the value and veracity of such shall one day vindicate the vigilant and the virtuous. Verily, this vichyssoise of verbiage veers most verbose, so let me simply add that it's my very good honor to meet you, and you may call me V.
The Bailey area is quarantined. All significant witnesses have been detained.
Good. Mr. Etheridge.
A recording device was found wired into the central emergency broadcast system. The DCD was Tchaikovsky's 1812 overture.
Add it to the blacklist. I never want to hear that music again.
Yes, sir. We also doubled our random sweeps and are monitoring a lot of phone surveillance, indicating a high percentage of conversation concerned with the explosion.
Mr. Dascombe, what are we doing about that?
We're calling it an emergency demolition. We have spin coverage on the network and throughout the interlink. Several experts have been lined up to testify against the Bailey's structural integrity.
I want Prothero to speak tonight on the dangers of these old buildings and how we must avoid clinging to the edifice of a decadent past. He should conclude that the new Bailey will become the symbol of our time and the future that our conviction has rewarded us. Mr. Hare.
Our surveillance cameras captured several images of the terrorists, though the mask obviously makes retinal identification impossible. We also managed to get a picture of the girl that Creedy's men were detaining.
Who is she, Mr. Finch?
Not sure yet, sir, but we're working on several leads.
Anything else?
We located the fireworks launch and found traces of the explosives used at both sites. Unfortunately, it appears that despite the heavy level of sophistication, these devices were homemade with over-the-counter chemicals, making them very difficult to trace. Whoever he is, Chancellor, he's very
good.
to know that this question will not leave this office.
Of course, Inspector. Because of the terrorist?
No.
What is it, Chief? What's going on?
The question I want to ask is about St. Mary's and Three Waters. The question that's kept me up for the last 24 hours, the question I have to ask is, what if the worst and most horrifying biological attack in this country's history was not the work of religious extremists.
Well, I don't understand. We know it was. They were caught. They confessed.
And they were executed, I know. And maybe that's really what happened. But I see this chain of events. These coincidences. And I have to ask, what if that isn't what happened? What if someone else unleashed that virus? What if someone else killed all those people? Would you really want to know who it was?
Sure.
Even if it was someone working for this government? That's my question. If our own government was responsible for what happened at St. Mary's and Three Waters, if our own government was responsible for the deaths of almost 100,000 people, would you really want to know?